Impact frames. They're awesome, but where did they come from? I'm gonna be honest, it's a little difficult to track down where impact frames originated from on the internet. It's not super well documented for some reason. I'm probably blind, I can't use the internet. But thankfully, this video isn't about the history of impact frames, it's about adding impact frames to movies and shows, because why not? I would add it to music, but you can't. But if we're gonna go about creating impact frames, we have to talk about what they are, like how they function, why they're made. Now you've probably seen impact frames before, like in the Yutaka Nakamura Deku versus Todoroki fight in My Hero Academia Season 2. If you haven't seen this, you gotta lock in. Where you been the last couple years? You gotta tell me. Was this guy your roommate? This piece of animation genuinely inspired the next generation of animators to better understand how to animate and elevate their potential. Scenes like that and, the entirety of the first season of One Punch Man. That season alone is just chock full of amazing animation and incredible impact frames. And that's another reason why that show became so revered and so loved, and why people are so upset that later seasons aren't up to par, And stuff like this is what led to, say, the Smiling Friends meme. The irony is what makes it so great. The impact frames are used to really accentuate, usually just impact, obviously. And so applying that into like a dap up is pretty amazing. So let's do that.
Son of a bitch. What's the matter?
You're fucking insane! And you're fucking winning!
I really don't want to hurt you.
I wouldn't stress about it.
Huh? Had enough?
With a good lawyer, which I have.
So you see, impact frames in random ass scenes can be pretty amusing, but what if they were utilized in scenes where it made more sense? Before we get into implementing impact frames into movies and shows and stuff, let's talk about the new year. New year, new you. Get into your new and old routines with Raycon's Open Earbuds. This message is sponsored by Raycon, and when using my Open Earbuds, I get to listen to my favorite music or podcasts while I get through my day. They deliver crystal clear sound and sit all snug outside my ear canal, which means I can stay aware of traffic and coworkers or whatever's going on around me. Their multi-angular rotation ear hook ensures a secure, personalized fit for any activity. I've had these for months now, and I've talked about them before, and I'm still using them. They're so great. And the best part? Raycon quality rivals big premium audio brands, but at half the price. So don't overpay to get great sound. The essential Open Earbuds are here to help you crush your New Year goals. So click the link in the description below or go to buyraycon.com/browntableopen to get 20% off site-wide. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and checking them out supports the channel, so go check them out. Now back to the video. Now the imagery of impact frames will amplify the impact of the action happening on screen, but it's usually something reserved to the realm of animation, because impact frames are illustrated. It is something that is hand-drawn or digitally drawn. It's another reason why you don't really see impact frames in live-action material, but that doesn't mean that people haven't experimented with it before. Movies like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World have shots that emulate, the feeling of an impact frame. Flashes and the compositing is done in a way where it kind of exudes the same effect. Let me just say, impact frames didn't originate with My Hero or One Punch Man or Demon Slayer or JJK or other shows like it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in this day and age, shows like these are what have the most influence on the culture because they're so popular. You can find instances of impact frames in shows like Evangelion, heck, and Sailor Moon. And you'll also notice a different look to impact frames as well. What seems to be currently popular is this kind of, explosion look. But impact frames can come in many forms and can be carried out through a myriad of colors and streams of light, all to underscore the ferocity of an attack or the impact of an action. And impact frames could even just be a frame that cuts to another image with a star or something like that to give the idea of a hit. You see impact frames in Western animation as well. When Spider-Man in the 90s cartoon punched people around, you couldn't actually show the collision of fist to face. So you cut to white or something else, add in a sound effect, and boom, someone just got whacked. Take that even further, and impact frames show up in classic Adam West Batman, where Batman punches a foe, and to exemplify impact, you get text literally jumping at you on screen. These are all different variations of what can be considered an impact frame, but currently I am highlighting the current most popular version of them, which again is stuff that looks like this. Going back to Sailor Moon, there's also this version of impact frames that aren't utilized as much to emphasize a strike as they are used to emphasize power. You can find stuff like this in Dragon Ball as well, but stuff that consistently keeps flashing can also carry negative consequences. Throwback to that Pokemon incident, you know, that's also why dimming is a thing in anime, because too much flashing can really f someone up. So if we're gonna add impact frames to movie scenes like the shot from the Avengers, we gotta figure out where the energy or blast is coming from. That'd be Iron Man's repulsor, so that's where like all the rays are gonna emanate from, you know what I mean? Yes! So I've added a white layer just now, but I'm not gonna 100% the opacity because I wanna be able to, you know, see the original image and draw off that. So if this here is our focal point, we wanna kind of start creating that blast. And our strokes should be directed outwards from the blast. So in creating, you know, that silhouette, this is really sloppy, but this is the intention. I'm gonna create the silhouette of the character by inking the negative space of the character, like what's around the character. You know what I mean? And you know, once this is wrapped and really cleaned up, it'll look like a very solid impact frame. It does not right now, but when everything comes together, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Like everyone else, I love impact frames and how they're utilized, but you have to utilize them in a way that's very effective, because just like everything, too much of something can be bad. So while I know this video is about adding impact frames and going crazy, impact frames in moderation are usually the way to go, because you don't want to overbear the viewer with a bunch of flashing lights and, you know, it'll become like, ugh. Like, you don't want to give anyone a seizure, man. That'd be really bad. It's also a lesson for myself with my own works, you know? You gotta use impact frames in places where they would have the most impact, and you can't just always be using it. Even though they're so fun. They're so fun to do. Who wouldn't want to use them all the time? But yeah, ultimately that's one of my takeaways. Hey, you made it to the end. Thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure to check out Interstellar Ranger Commence, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.